Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Because I have a story to tell you, Blade. So, I had this friend, and he was a big baseball player, right? Back in high school.
Okay.
Let me tell you, he could throw that speedball by you and make you look like a fool, right?
The speedball.
Yeah, I saw him the other night. We were at this roadside bar, right? I was walking in, he was walking out. So we went back inside, we sat down, and we had a few drinks. But all he kept talking about, glory days, and they went to a young girl, glory days.
Wow.
That's right, Blade. Hello, everybody. I am Brett Michelle. That guy's Blade Daly.
Yep.
And this is The Hard Way. And if you're wondering why I'm serenading you all with the fantastic Bruce Springsteen track Glory Days, it's because today, my friends, we are talking about the Great American Bash 1989, aka Glory Days.
That's correct, Brett. And
Yes.
at the time, and for many years after, this was considered WCW's finest pay-per-view.
It was, even though they were still technically holding this under the NWA banner.
Well, yes. So Crockett had been bought out in 1988 by Ted Turner.
Mm-hmm.
And they were branding as the NWA, and they continued to until 1990.
Correct.
When they officially rebranded to World Championship Wrestling, and the NWA became a separate entity distinct from them. But, you know, once Ted Turner buys it, that's what I start to refer to as WCW, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, they just if you're watching at home, that's why they keep referring to the NWA title, all that good stuff. Now, before we get going into the specifics here, the little backstory on the what have you, I asked our Threads universe who they think had the best mullet in all of wrestling.
Oh man.
And we got some great
like just at any time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now I'm saying the two in the lead are Mike Awesome and Speedball Mike Bailey, who does have a fantastic mullet. Now, I myself am going to go with this entire roster.
Yeah, I would go with this entire show.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. I was thinking this watching it is like the number of sheer extravagant mulletry.
Just beautiful heads, lettuce, Kentucky waterfalls everywhere.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's one point, the fashion in this show is amazing. Like, I just keep looking at the crowd and I'm like, man, like these are just like, when you think of like your dad barbecuing, like that's what it is, you know? All the granny looking 20-year-old women in the crowd with their big Coke bottle glasses and their perm.
Yeah.
Like there's one spot in here where, well, not one spot, you see him throughout the whole goddamn show, but there's a cameraman in the upper left corner of the ring, and he's just rocking like some short ass Daisy Duke cutoff jeans, and I'm fucking here for it, dude. I am here for it.
Hot. Hot Daisy Duke action, Brett. That's what we tune in for.
That is what we tuned in for.
I gotta say, so in listening back to this stuff, because this is right like a few months before I started watching wrestling.
I was 1 year old.
Yeah, I know. I was 9. So
I was like 1.5.
One thing that I never really noticed was how defensive Jim Ross is the entire broadcast about, we wrestle here. These are big, muscular men that can't move. And then Lex Luger comes out looking jacked as fuck on steroids and I mean, he can work, you know what I mean? But it's like there is like such obvious hypocrisy in the criticism of that they're clearly taking shots at WWF at the time.
Yeah.
There is such obvious hypocrisy in it.
The whole show is beefcakes. Like,
yeah, the whole show is beefcakes.
Look at the first match that we'll get into.
Yes, and everybody that gets the biggest reaction is pretty beefy.
Yeah. But all right, let's get into this. So we're talking about the Great American Bash, Glory Days from 1989. Like we said, this was WCW producing, but still kind of running it under the NWA banner. And this event took place in Baltimore, Maryland, before banks started owning stadiums, apparently, because this was just at the Baltimore Arena.
Yep.
And it was on July 23rd, 1989. There were 14,500 screaming yeehaws in attendance. Mm-hmm. And boy, oh boy, it was a good one. We got your commentary team of Jim Ross and Bob Caudle, who sounds a lot like Tony Schiavone. Like, throughout, I kept thinking, like, wait, when did Schiavone show up here?
When Schiavone's 85, he will sound a lot like Bob Caudle. Yes.
Yeah. We had Gordon Sully as your backstage interviewer. We had Gary Capetta as your ring announcer. Mm-hmm. And your referees were young Nick Patrick and Tommy Young.
I was going to say Gordon Sully. I put this together watching it just today. I've seen this man for decades. He looks like one of the puppets from Mr. Rogers. Take a good hard look at him. He looks like
I can
one
see
of the
it.
puppets from Mr. Rogers.
I can
he really
see
does. In a somewhat off-putting way, actually.
I can see that. I can see it.
All right, we've got here the United States champion, Lex Luger, coming to the... All right, I'm a puppet. Put your hand further up my ass, Daddy. Do it.
Well, your main event for the night and the kind of through story is that Ric Flair will be defending his World Heavyweight title against number one on my Pro Wrestling Mount Rushmore, Mr. Terry Funk. And it was after Flair had beaten Steamboat at Wrestle War for the title.
And Funk attacked him directly after that match.
After.
Pile drove him on a table and did legit injure him. This is about 6 weeks after that. Flair has barely been on television since then.
Yep, and we get into that part of the lore later on before their match and during their match. Mm-hmm. But first off, we start things out with a bang, with a nice cheesy little 80s intro with some clip art ass American flags and just ripping guitar riffs.
Dude, I felt so fucking patriotic watching this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And then this was back before like being proud of being an American was a terrible thing. I mean, maybe it always was.
Yeah, I mean,
we
in
didn't
a lot
know.
of ways.
We didn't know.
Patriotism is always kind of weak, but you know, it is. This was less bad than it is.
But like back then, you'd see an American. I mean, if you were white, we're white, so it was different for us. Like we were young babes who were not awoken to the horrors of America yet. But like now, you see someone flying an American flag, and I'm just convinced they're going to shoot me on sight. You know,
if I could projectile vomit. Like when I see a car drive by with like the flags on the thing.
Oh, Nazi.
Yeah. If I could projectile vomit, that would be the time.
Yep.
Like hit the flag with the vomit.
Yep. Like Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
That's right.
Yeah.
The power of Christ compels me.
She fucked up her back in that movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because when they were like flying her around on the bed, like, you know.
Oh, I could. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
anyway,
sense. All right.
We jump right into a big battle royal of beef.
It's a King of the Hill double ring battle royal, Brett.
Yeah, that's right. So I should have said that. So the whole night, we've got 2 rings. We've got the King of the Hill battle royal. And the rules of this were when you get eliminated, you go to the second ring. And then then you're eliminating people from that ring as well. And so the last guy standing in ring number 1 and the last guy standing in ring number 2, that they have a match then.
Right.
Did I say that right? Is that the rules? Did I get it right?
Yeah, so everybody starts in one ring on the left as
Correct.
the viewer, and you try to throw people into the other ring on the right. And once you're thrown into over the top rope, you go into the ring on the right, and then you battle there, and people are trying to throw you out of that ring. If you're thrown out of the ring, you're done. You're gone. And the last person in ring 1 faces the last person in ring 2, just like you said.
Correct. And we have a lot of stars in this one.
A lot of people who were wrestling on this show elsewhere, yes.
Yeah. We got Eddie Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
We got Terry Gordy.
Mm-hmm.
We got Scott Hall.
Yep.
We got Bill Irwin.
Yep.
Flying Brian Pillman.
Mm-hmm.
Ranger Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Rotunda.
Yeah.
Ron Simmons. The Steiner Brothers. Steve Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Death. Kevin Sullivan, Sid Vicious, and Dan Spivey.
Dangerous.
And they all come out to the ring either wearing or holding crowns, like king crowns, the ones with the little red velvet on it and whatnot.
The King of the Ring stereotypical crown, yeah.
Yeah, and then we see Teddy Long is up in the crowd, rocking a comb over, looking down, because 2 of his guys, the skyscrapers, Spivey and Sid Vicious, are in the match.
Yes, and they are very large men that have a very good chance of winning. Now, you said Teddy had a comb over. Brett, is that really true? Because Teddy doesn't have enough hair to do a comb over at this point.
Well, he's got the cul-de-sac going like the Hogan, but he's got like a few wisps that he's combed over.
It's wispy up there.
Yeah.
It's whistling through the whispering wind of his follicles.
It is. He's rocking the shades on. Let me tell you, Teddy Long cracked me up this whole night. He was great. He was in great form.
Love
as
Teddy.
Was another future great that we'll get to.
Mm-hmm.
But we get into this match, and Ranger Ross ends up being eliminated first, followed by Ron Simmons, who, when he gets into the second ring, just starts beating the fuck out of Ranger Ross.
Kind of curious that the 2 black men in the match are the first 2 thrown over the top.
Yeah.
One after the other.
Yep. I did laugh though, seeing Ron Simmons just immediately start beating ass.
Yeah, and then he gets eliminated. Ron Simmons gets eliminated by Ranger Ross.
Yeah, so he's the first one out of the match. And then we get it's basically just a whole bunch of big beefy men beating the beef out of each other. Spivey's fucking power bombing everybody the whole time.
Yeah. Spivey's working probably the hardest of anyone in the match, I think.
Yeah, no, he definitely is.
Sid is working the not hardest of everyone in the match.
Yes, Sid Vicious is being Sid Vicious.
So the whole thing with Sid is he barely knows how to wrestle at this point. Like, he's green as Gosling goose shit. Like, he has almost no experience at all.
Ryan Gosling?
Yes, Ryan Gosling's goose.
What's Gosling goose mean?
Like, isn't Gosling like a baby goose?
Is it?
I don't know. I just made that up. Anyway, he's a baby goose, and it's shit. That's what he's as green as, okay? Mm-hmm. So he's only wrestled a little bit in Memphis, but this guy is just aura in a look, okay? Like, and he's in a match later that there is some hilarious shit that happens in that match that we will get into. We will get into that.
And so after some they're basically just brawling.
Yep.
We get down to Spivey, Rotunda, and Dr. Death in ring number 2. And Dr. Death becomes the one who just starts fucking wrecking everybody.
Yeah.
He looked great in a match later on. But he hit such a big fucking power slam on Rotunda before sending him over the top rope for the elimination, which leaves Dr. Death versus Spivey.
And Sid has won in ring one.
Yes, and it was Flying. It came down to him and Flying Brian, and Flying Brian tried to hit a crossbody, and Sid just ducked.
And Flying flew over the top rope
into
ring two, and then just immediately got dumped from ring two.
Yep. And so we get down to Spivey and Rotunda were the last two. Dr. Death and Spivey. And Dr. Death gets distracted. I for the life of me,
he runs off the ropes. Rotunda, they had been in the varsity club together.
Yes.
And Dr. Death had turned against them. Rotunda grabs Dr. Death's boot after Rotunda's already been eliminated. Dr. Death does the dumb thing where he turns around and like, hey, you. And then Dan Spivey clotheslines his ass. He falls over the top. The Skyscrapers, the tag team, are the last two guys in ring one and ring two.
Until Teddy Long just fucking appears out of nowhere.
Right. With no front teeth, by the way. No front teeth.
And says, we're not getting that final match. They're a tag team. He's not going to have his two guys fight it out. In the name of unity, they're just going to split the money. And then it immediately cuts to commercial.
Well, okay. So you watched Peacock. I watched a different supercut version that adds in some stuff they cut. So he goes, so give us our money and give me my crown. And they give him. So you had talked about these velvet generic dollar store crowns.
I have a note about the crown that Teddy Long ends up getting.
They give Teddy Long this Party City shit fuck garbage crown that it literally couldn't be any cheaper looking if you tried.
I'm gonna be honest that like I think I had that crown.
I think I did too. I think I've had it before.
It was like if you were a kid in the 80s or 90s, like you had this crown. It was just a plastic gold crown with some plastic jewels around it that were all different colors.
And Teddy is holding it
cheap as fuck.
You would think if you were Teddy, like the safest thing to do would be to put it on your head. Okay.
Yeah.
So that people can't see it wobbling and shit because it's cheap ass fucking plastic.
Yep. You can see the foam lining.
He never puts it on his head. And then he holds it up to the camera and acts like it's the most valuable thing in the world. This is hilarious.
Yep,
it is the cheapest, most garbage looking fucking crown you could possibly have. It looks cheaper than the crowns they walked out with in the beginning.
He does it later in the night too, when the Skyscrapers are in a match, and he keeps shoving it in the camera, and it's like dude, that looks so bad.
It's just, this is like WCW in so many ways is remembered for untrue wrong reasons, like, you know, as just being this company that couldn't get their shit together. But there is truth to it, too.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the very beginning. And this is, my God, what a piece of shit prize. That's your prize? Give him a Burger King crown. That would have been funnier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it would have.
Holy shit. Oh.
But we get another quick little Teddy Long promo in the back. Basically just being Teddy Long. And then your next match, we got Flying Brian Pillman versus Wild Bill Irwin.
Let the mullets begin.
Curly hair everywhere.
Yeah.
Wild Bill Irwin is rocking some dark wash blue jeans, beer gut hanging over the top.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some flappy shit around his boots. Were those boot chaps? What the hell were those?
Yeah, it's like some kind of cowboy outlaw, weird looking shit. Long red curly hair.
Yeah, and he's got what I can only describe as gardening gloves with the fingers cut off.
So he's supposed to look like a rancher or something.
Yeah, you know, but he was cracking me up though. I mean, Flying Brian looked great at the time. He was in tremendous shape. flying all over the fucking place. The whole match, Irwin is just shrieking at the top of his lungs. Come on, flying Brian! You want to fly? You want to fly?
While Bill Irwin would also go on later to be the Goon in WWF,
Yep.
much later, hockey player who wrestled in ice skates. But yeah, he just screams at Pillman the entire time.
Yep.
While Bill
He's on
Irwin,
offense most of the match.
They do the classic formula because really Bill Irwin is a jobber to the stars, where he's like, he's not a jobber where you're going to beat him in like 3 seconds, but like he's still a jobber. He never really wins anything. And unless he's against like an actual enhancement talent, but he's that guy that's there to like add some kind of doubt about the outcome, but he's almost certainly going to lose. Anyway, he is one of my favorite job guys ever because he is so distinct and memorable because of his weird gardening duster motif thing that he's got going on.
He's the lawn care guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, they have a pretty good match, Brian's flying around for most of it, and we get towards the end, Irwin gets into it with young Nick Patrick, which allows Flying Brian to hit a big old crossbody off the top rope. We get a quick 1, 2, 3, your winner, Flying Brian. And in slow motion, you can see that when he hit that crossbody, Irwin took a whole mouthful of man titty.
He took a lot of man titty. Also, his shoulder was up. So there was that as well. Brian had climbed to the top of the other ring, by the way, and jumped into, which was supposed to look impressive, but they were really close together. So it was just like an extra, maybe he jumped an extra foot or something. But like, it was a fine match. It was all right. They're just getting warmed up. This is kind of how these shows went at the time, where it's like your preliminary matches. Where, Brian Pillman was new to the NWA. He was new to whatever, WCW, NWA. So, this was just a showcase match for him.
Yep. And he showed up and showed out. Showed it.
Also, this preliminary match is 2 seconds shorter than the Battle Royal itself.
Was it? I didn't even notice. That's
Battle
funny.
Royal was 10 minutes and 20 seconds. This match is 10 minutes and 18 seconds.
Well, fantastic. And you know what? I'm not mad about it because then we get a fucking fantastic Paulie Dangerously promo.
Yes.
In the
Oh, God.
back. Young Paul Heyman just at the top of his game. I have here a quote from from the end of his promo that I just loved. All right. He says, I have been okay, because he's going to have a match against Jim Cornette, and it's going to be a tuxedo match.
Right.
Which is, I guess, a precursor to the bra and panties match, where you win by stripping the other guy out of his tuxedo.
Right.
So he's yelling at Cornette, and he gets to these last few lines, and Jesus Christ, I have been obsessed with your demise. I've been living dangerously all my life. I stand on the beach when the hurricane comes in. I've leaned over the top of the Empire State Building. Hell, I've even hired Rob Lowe's babysitter. I'm ready for you, my man. I'm ready for this match. Win, lose, or draw, they're going to have to call me the greatest manager in wrestling, because when I'm through with you, my man, you won't be able to walk again. You're going to be hobbling around like a Vietnam victim.
Yeah. No, it's a great promo.
Damn, Paul.
Also, Paul only looks 40 in this, but he's actually like 24. Like,
yeah.
Like his hairline is well into recession at this point. And as I said, and I'm not kidding, he's really like 24. Like, he's very young.
His hair was looking a lot like the United States under George W. Bush. I tell you that.
It was receding. Yeah, that's right.
I just wanted to I had to get that in. That was
good. That was good.
Anyway, next up, we've got the Dynamic Dudes.
Oh my God.
Versus the Skyscrapers with Teddy Long. And the Dynamic Dudes come out. They've got their neon green backwards hats, they're kind of like surfer bras. and they pull this fan out of the crowd and try to play frisbee with
This kid reminded me of the kid from Bad Santa.
Yeah, he's just this adorable little chonker, and he's got a Ghostbuster t-shirt on.
Also, Johnny Ace tries to pick him up. By the way, you know that's John Laurinaitis, right?
No.
Like the sex scandal, Janelle Grant, John Laurinaitis. Yeah, that's Johnny Ace. That's who that is.
You're right.
Yeah, it's Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas. Yeah.
Jesus.
So Johnny Ace picks this kid up, and the kid is way heavier than he thinks, and he barely gets him over the railing. And this is like an 8-9-year-old kid. So funny.
Well, they throw him a frisbee, and the kid like doesn't know what to do with it, and it's just
and then he goes to throw it back, and Shane's like, "You know what, Johnny? Why don't you step aside?" And then Shane catches it. And the dynamic dudes, I'm just gonna say, fucking suck. Okay, this gimmick fucking sucks. Nobody should care. Here is a point that
they had some great mullets though, the bleach blonde mullets.
Glorious mullets. There's no questioning that. However,
glorious mullets for glory days.
Okay, stop. Okay, you stop getting Springsteen into this. Okay, stop bringing. Stop bringing Bruce into this. Stop it. I don't even like that song. So what I was going to say is, one, it's generally accepted that nobody liked this gimmick, except unless you actually watch this show. There is a sign being held up by like teenage boys. These are the boys that should hate the dynamic dudes. And it's like, the dynamic dudes, radical, tubular, awesome. And they're like, for legit, so excited. Okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the dynamic dudes did look pretty cool. I mean, they had trunks that I can only describe as 1994 movie theater carpet design.
And this is 1989. Yeah.
Ahead of their time, you could say.
And they do the thing that, like, I'm trying to think who this started with. Was it the Fabulous Ones with Stan Lane and Steve Kern, where they like ripped off their pants? These dudes are wearing like swim trunks, and they rip them off, and they got the short shorts underneath.
Yep.
It's very homoerotic and weird. And I mean, look, if that's your thing, that's your thing. No judgment here, baby. But it's not mine. However, the Skyscrapers music hits, and the crowd. Sid Vicious, like I said earlier, is a look and an aura, okay?
Yep.
And he proves in this match that is all you need to be sometimes.
Dan Spivey is a look. I don't know about
He is a look that nobody cares about whatsoever.
What the fuck was his hair?
It's receding hairline or giant forehead, I can't tell. And he cut it to look crazy, obviously. But this is the future Waylon Mercy, who Bray Wyatt would base his gimmick on later, like 25 years later.
And the Waylon Mercy character is based off of Max Cady,
Robert De Niro
in Cape Fear, or if you go back long enough to the original, it was I can't remember his name off the top of my head now.
I don't know who played Max Cady in the original.
I'm gonna look it up because I'm gonna be like, Jesus Christ. Like,
well, and you can't like, you can't just like prematurely give up on your trivia,
Robert Mitchum.
Robert Mitchum, really?
Yeah, Robert fucking Mitchum.
Mitchum. Hard man.
So Spivey, though, I think if you were to shave him bald and give him a goatee, he would look like he could be Stone Cold Steve Austin's brother.
Dan Spivey is very scary, and he's doing the Bruiser Brody huss. Yep. He's doing that thing, which, like, why did anybody besides Bruiser Brody do that? Because it's like, there's only one person that really does it that anybody cares about.
Yeah.
Anyway. And Sid's not doing any of that nonsense. He's just walking down to the ring looking cool.
Yep. And for most of the match, it's Spivey going at it at the two dynamic dudes. Sid, they're holding that hot tag, they're waiting, and when he does get it, though, he's in the ring for about a half a second before he goes right back out.
So this is where it gets really good, Brett. This is where it gets really good. So Johnny, it's this match is like mostly Johnny Ace versus Dan Spivey.
Yeah.
But it's basically Dan Spivey in a handicap match versus the dynamic dudes. So the crowd and Spivey's working his ass off, and the crowd is like, "We want Sid. We want Sid." Now, Sid does nothing to discourage this, even though he's supposed to be a heel. Okay, so he's kind of encouraging them to keep chanting, right? And when he finally gets a tag, he comes in, he punches Johnny Ace one time, and then he kicks him one time, and then he tags right back out. The next time he gets tagged in, it's with Shane Douglas.
Yep.
And Shane Douglas is on his stomach on the mat, and Sid applies some kind of claw hold to his lower back.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any, it's not a nerve hold. The announcers don't talk about it because I think they're trying not to draw attention to, like, Sid doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yep.
But they're clearly just trying to keep Sid grounded and not doing too much in this match.
And the whole match, like I said, Teddy's on the outside showing off this cheap ass crown.
Oh my God.
But we do get this great line from JR. Teddy needs to get some of that fertilizer out of his mouth and rub some on the top of his head, and maybe his hair would grow.
Well, and the crowd also was fond of chanting "Peanut Head" at Teddy Long.
Yep.
I just feel, I feel kind of bad for both the dudes and Dan Spivey because they are trying their best, and the crowd only cares about Sid.
Yep. But there is a great spot that I chuckled at where Shane, he's in the ring against Spivey, and he's trying to get away from him. So he's crawling on all fours all around the ring away from him. Finally gets under his legs for the tag. And the next note I have here is that, have you ever seen the Brady Bunch movie?
Yes.
You know how, like, Marsha Brady said "school" really weird?
Yes.
JR.
Yes.
Anytime it said school or anything that was ool, it was skewl. But anyway, so we get towards the end of the match, and Spivey goes to hit a power bomb, and it's the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen. He gets
Johnny Ace slips. He's too sweaty.
Yeah.
And he almost drops him on his head.
I was wondering if that's what it was, because I was like, who botched there? And then it was like, he was probably just too slick. He's a little slippery like a seal.
Yeah, it was absolutely like, I don't think anybody did anything wrong. He just slipped. And then you see Spivey like go like, should I do another one? And then he's like, he's too sweaty. I don't think I can, it's not going to go any better. And so I felt, if it was a decent human being, like say it had been Shane Douglas, I would have felt bad for him because it didn't look like it hurt.
No.
The power bomb that he took, but that's what pinned him.
Yep.
And Dan Spivey pretty much by himself beats the dynamic dudes.
Yep. Which brings us to a Jim Cornette promo, which was pretty good. It was
actually extremely good until the end.
Well, I have two great quotes from it.
Please.
He says that Paulie Dangerously was right, that he did tear his anterior cruciate ligament, and he still wears a brace because the orthoscopic surgeon couldn't fix it. I just love him having to overpronounce the whole thing,
Yeah, instead of saying ACL.
Yeah, it's not ACL. It's the anterior cruciate ligament. It's not the doctor. It's the orthoscopic surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, I don't know. I like the end. He goes, you break one of my legs, I'll hop to you. You break both of my legs, I'll crawl on my belly like a reptile to you.
The promo is excellent until like the last two lines because Jim Cornette is in the weird position of being a babyface.
Yeah.
And he does not It's when he starts going like the things I've done in my past, and I want to thank all the people who've been here for me. It doesn't come naturally to him.
Right.
And Jim Cornette, who's like famous for like cutting these like rapid fire promos, looks like he's hesitating to like think of how to deliver it.
I was bummed for him because that I'll crawl on my belly like a reptile line, he kind of flubbed up a little bit, and that was such a great line. Like, but
he could have, if he had ended it right there, it would have been great. But then he's like has to thank the fans.
Yeah,
and that just is not Jim Cornette. You know, he would turn heel later this year. He was a babyface for about 4 or 5 months, but yeah,
regardless of how you feel about the dude now, like he was great.
Look, if you don't think Jim Cornette was talented, you're just wrong. Okay, like he was an incredibly talented talker. He was incredibly.
I cannot do his 4-hour goddamn podcasts, but
I have no interest in what Jim Cornette thinks or what he says now.
Yep.
He's become a bitter, angry old man that should just be ignored, but he's not. But he should be. But he absolutely is one of the great managers in the history of wrestling. No question.
Yep. And speaking of that, this is time. The manager tuxedo match. Jim Cornette versus Paulie Dangerously. Paulie comes out first to some Phantom of the Opera ass music.
Okay, so I don't know what they dubbed on the network, but it's the Jason music was what he actually came out to.
Oh, okay. No, on the Peacock that I watched, it was some definite like organ Phantom of the Opera type shit.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Cornette comes out to some cheesy ass 80s dance music.
It's the Midnight Express music. It's what FTR's music is based on.
Oh, right.
Oh,
right.
but they replaced that on the network.
Yep.
So
but he comes out and he's fucking ready to go, dude. He's fucking slapping hands with the fans. He's swinging that racket like a madman.
Yep.
And they get right at it. Like, they just start beating the hell out of each other. And Cornette very quickly rips Paul's jacket off. But then Paul's got an answer for him. He gets in the corner, dumps a whole handful of powder in his hand, and throws it in the face.
Ball in his fucking hand.
Yeah. It just starts beating the shit out of Cornette's knee with his phone.
Well, and Cornette, okay, so he starts hitting at one of the knees, and Cornette leans in and obviously is like, it's the other knee. And Heyman starts hitting the other knee. But I will say this, Brett, you got to give these guys something. For two guys who don't know how to fucking work, they didn't do a half bad job.
Yeah.
And the fans are hotter for this. Keep in mind, there's been a battle royal where most of the undercard stars have already been out there. And this is the biggest reaction of the night so far.
Yeah,
for this match.
I mean, you got Paul Heyman in a cummerbund, which I mean, and
Jim Cornette in a cummerbund.
What is the point of a cummerbund?
They're ugly as fuck. I don't know.
Yeah,
why
like, did anyone think they looked cool? Like, it's just some weird sash, like around your
weird satin sash. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Cornette's rocking a frilly undershirt that I can only describe as the color of your chain-smoking grandmother's nicotine-stained walls.
Yeah,
like,
that's a very good description.
Like, anyway.
It looks like a 1972 Kentucky prom dress is what it, or prom suit. Sorry, not dress, but like what a dude would wear to the prom.
Seinfeld puffy shirt.
Yes.
Well, Cornette gets Paulie down to he gets Paulie's shirt off. It's probably the only time I've ever seen Paul without a shirt on.
And he's already got a little gut, and he's like 24 with a gut.
He doesn't look bad, you know.
He could have looked a lot worse.
Yeah.
If this had happened just 5 years later, he would have looked much worse. But something I did want to say is Paulie clearly didn't get the memo about how this match is won or lost. He did say in that promo he cut he didn't care about winning.
Yeah.
Because he took his own tie off and he took his own shit off and he started unbuttoning his shirt.
Well, he took his own cummerbund off as well.
Yeah. And I'm like, if the point is to strip somebody, you're helping them win right now. Anyway, go ahead.
Paulie lives dangerously. Like he said, he stands on the beach when the hurricane's coming. Something about Rob Lowe's babysitter.
Yeah, Rob Lowe as his babysitter, maybe. I don't know. I think
I didn't
Rob
understand
Lowe's,
that line, but it sounded
weird
good.
sex tape had come out. Right
I don't
around
think
that time?
so. Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
Not yet.
all right. However, Paul had success with the 8-ball of powder before, but
Tries it again.
He goes back to the well, and Jim Cornette kicks his hand. Paulie throws the 8-ball in his own face, and that's when Jim goes to town, starts beating the crap out of him, takes his shirt off.
Oh! 1988 was when Rob Lowe's sex tape scandal happened. So, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now Paulie's blinded by his own 8-ball, and Cornette starts punching him, takes his shirt off, takes his pants off. Paulie's wearing some turquoise...
Some little turquoise budgies.
So, yeah, some turquoise, like, tidy turquoises. And just covers his dick in his ass and runs to the back in a very, very funny way.
Yep. Your winner, Jim Cornette.
And look, the crowd was really, really up for this match. And I
fucking were.
I mean, look, even we can't really understand this, okay? Even worked punches or forearms or shit, you throw enough of those, you will blow up and get tired, especially if you don't do it normally. These guys worked a 6-minute match with zero experience. So
yep.
I give that to them. And
Hats
the work
off.
that they did do was kind of solid. It was like fairly decent work. So
it was fun.
It was an
match. Entertaining little bit of business.
Yep. We have another entertaining match next, Brett. Was there a promo between this?
There was. It was a quick one. Nothing real to write home about. It was Gary Hart on behalf of the Great Muta, who later will be taking on Sting for the television title.
Yep.
But before that, we have a Texas Tornado tag match.
That's right.
Between Kevin Sullivan and Captain Mike Rotunda. And I mean, we say it every time we talk about him, Bray Wyatt's daddy. Who had more gimmicks than I can shake a stick at, but I guess in this era he was just like a varsity football captain.
Well, so he wasn't. I don't think he was captain yet.
Yeah, they said
Did
captain.
They call him
Mike
captain?
Rotunda.
So he was captain of the wrestling team at Syracuse, as JR would be happy to remind you. At Syracuse College School. And so their opponents are the just formed Steiner brothers. They don't even have matching gear yet. Scott's not wearing knee pads like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, they're with Misty Hyatt.
They're with...
They looked great, though. A couple young studs rocking the Letterman jackets coming out to the ring.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking. They did look great.
Which is funny because Rotunda also came out wearing a Letterman jacket.
Well, so here's the thing. They were in the varsity. Rick Steiner was in the varsity club. Rick Steiner had feuded with Mike Rotunda over the television title when he left the varsity club. And he won it from him, and then he lost it back to him, and then Rotunda lost that to Sting, which he defended later in the show. But they've been feuding for a while. This was a fun match. Kevin Sullivan, looks like he's trying to kill everybody in the match.
I just love you. Basically, so they just both teams just start out beating the fuck out of each other.
They were laying it in, man.
Yeah. And you see on the outside, Rick Steiner is just beating the shit out of Sullivan with the timekeeper's table. Yeah. Like he's hitting him with it, and then he just fucking chucks it at him.
But Sullivan doesn't even slow. It was like for a minute I was like, are they shooting on each other? Because Sullivan held his own. He is smaller than Rick, but he was beating some ass. He was Rotunda is the odd man out in this match. He doesn't even matter. The
crowd's barking loud.
Yeah, Rick is the star at this point. That will change, but like I said, they don't even have matching gear. Scott's wearing short tights. He's wearing the yellow, like gold short tights with the gold boots. I think he had just shown up from Memphis. Missy Hyatt's there with a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And a beautiful mullet of her own. And Scott's rocking a beautiful mullet, and Kevin Sullivan's rocking his "Don't Look at My Bald Spot" hairline mullet. And
he was a cannonball of a man.
He's just a brick.
His thighs were like two big old Christmas hams.
And he didn't wear gigantic. He's
weird. I don't like when people don't wear any pads. But dude, that's all I kept seeing whenever he was in the ring was like, Jesus Christ, his thighs are like the size of a truck.
Yeah, he's actually much. I haven't seen a lot of old Kevin Sullivan since he retired. He was so vicious. Like he worked stiff, and him and Rick were really beating on each other. I think they just liked each other, so they felt comfortable just laying it in.
Yeah.
But they hit each other. Kevin hit Rick with one of those chairs that didn't fold. It was like a plastic chair that you would see it like kindergarten or something. And
which comes up later in the night.
It does too. Yeah. He just brained Rick with it. And Rick like hesitates for a second because he was like for real. Like they were no-selling each other like crazy. But Rick couldn't no-sell that one.
It was a quick match too. It wasn't super long. What was it? Probably 7-8 minutes.
4 minutes and 22 seconds.
Damn. Yeah. And we get the win looked a little awkward. So both Steiner brothers hit a crossbody on Sullivan and they both pin him.
Well, so Sullivan picks up Rick. He's in a crossbody position, but he's like, looks like he's going to slam him. And then he has to turn around. Scott's mounted the top turnbuckle. And he jumps, lands on Rick's back, and they both land on top of Sullivan and pin him. Because Rotunda's outside. And the timing of it was just a little weird. Like Scott hesitated a second, and so it definitely looked like Sullivan's waiting for him to do the move. But like it was an entertaining match. I mean, it was just a quick brawl, just fun preliminary match.
That's it. You got the crowd barking. You did your job.
Yep.
And we all know how far the Steiners went. After.
Really shortly too. Like they win the world tag team titles before the end of the year.
And good. I mean, one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Absolutely. Rick Steiner's I fuck him forever, but like, dude, that tag team was incredible. Like, incredible.
Next up, we have the television championship match between a young Sting and the great Muda. And before that, we get a quick little promo with your champion Sting and hot stuff Eddie Gilbert, who looks a lot like my Uncle Shorty, rest in peace. Anyway, we get the gong hit, the smoke blowing, and the great Muda comes out with Gary Hart looking fucking like a ninja.
Okay. So a couple things. So they interview Sting, and Eddie's like clearly there to help guide him through promos, right? Because Sting still is learning how to do this. But Eddie, knowing Eddie, like what he does later, and like Eddie's a lot more comfortable as a heel. He's really uncomfortable as a babyface. Is it Gordon Soley that's interviewing them? I think it is. And Sting is pretty entertaining in the promo, but he walks off, and there's this awkward moment where it's just Eddie and Gordon, and Eddie doesn't know what to say. And he wants to do something really hammy, and you can see him trying not to smile. And then it cuts away. It's so weird. And there's Gordon looking like fucking Mr. Rogers' goddamn marionette, fucking weirdo. But yes, they cut. Then the Orientalism hits hard, and they hit a literal gong.
Yep.
I will say this. WCW was notorious anytime a Japanese wrestler came out for playing something very stereotypically Japanese. However, Muda's music was, as Brett would say, a bop. It's dope. I love Muda's music. It's dope.
Sting comes out to a huge fucking pop.
He does.
He's got the and this is not NWO Crow Sting. This is blonde flat top. He's got the blue and orange face paint, and he's
Cool looking
rocking
paint.
Yeah, and he's rocking the salmon colored tights, and
Pretty
then he's
cool.
got the sparkly fringe jacket.
The fringe
Muda,
looked really cool, like the
it
orangey
did.
salmon fringe. Yeah.
Yeah. Muda looked great, man. Red face paint Muda. He's got the red pants on. Just Muda was I loved Muda.
Muda is one of the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And this 1 year of his career made him a legend.
Yep.
Great Muda, and I will stand by this. If WCW knew what they were doing, and they did not, they would have made him the world champion like this year, in 1989. Because in this match, he is wrestling Sting, who is, besides Ric Flair, the most over guy in the company.
Yep.
Like, it's like Flair, Sting, and Luger, right? And Steamboat, kind of. Muda is like, they are chanting Muda's name.
Yeah.
Because this guy is so different. This 1989 Keiji Muto could wrestle, if you traveled through time and brought him to this year, he'd fit right in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you'd lose nothing. It would look totally normal. But better than a lot of people today.
Yeah. But this match, I mean, I love the way they started out, right?
Yeah.
So Muda he's in the second ring waiting for Sting, who just gets a running start in the first ring, flies over both ropes, and just hits Muda with a big old fucking crossbody.
Mm-hmm.
But Muda takes control back pretty quickly, and it was kind of a good showing for both guys. I mean, Sting looked great. He looked fast. He looked fucking powerful. He was chucking Muda all over the place when he was on offense. The great match. I mean, it wasn't anything super spectacular.
It was only 8.5 minutes long too.
A lot of short matches on this card.
But Muda, Muda's kicks are so cool. He does so many different kinds of kicks, stuff you would later see people like Tajiri do, or trying to think of other people, Hayabusa, people like that. But he is so athletic. He hits Sting with that handspring elbow in the corner, like
which Tajiri, big Tajiri move.
I mean, a ton of people have stolen that.
But Tajiri, I think of Tajiri the most, I think, because, you know, ECW and
right.
WWF.
And Muda's only been a wrestler himself for 4 years at this point. Like, it's crazy how good both these guys are. And Sting just has this, even then, when he's still green, he has this almost indefinable charisma that is just unbelievable. He's like if the Ultimate Warrior was 1, understandable, 2, likable, and 3,
less
talented.
hair.
Lot less hair. Did you notice Sting's music even sounds like the Ultimate Warrior's music?
Kind of,
like dun 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 dun. But yeah, a really fun match ends when Sting goes for a backdrop.
Well, Muda tries to spit the mist, but Sting ducks, hits the ref, and with the ref distracted, Muda hits a great moonsault. Goes for a pin attempt, but by the time we get a ref back in the ring, Sting kicks out and gets Muda back up and almost immediately hits him with the big back body drop into a pin for the 1, 2, 3.
So, interesting finish here, and not a good one, I would say, this is one of the problems with WCW is they get way too cute with the goddamn finishes. Mm-hmm. So, we've all seen this spot at some point, but this was a lot more common back then, was the guy lifts him up, hits a backdrop, 1, 2, and then the guy who took the move gets his shoulder up, and 3 gets counted on the guy doing the move, right? The problem was that both guys got a shoulder up.
Yep, I was going to say, so this becomes a big controversy that kind of they keep bringing up throughout the night. It's whether whether both guys' shoulders were down or not. They show the replay, and it's still kind of not fucking clear who would get it.
It's clear that both of them were not down.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you could say that. But then they just kind of leave it and just say...
There's a logical gap here, though, that's so gigantic, which is the ref who can see, who wasn't misted, did not see that both of their shoulders went up at one point. And then the ref who can't see is the only one who seems to realize that Muda's shoulder was off the mat. And then he goes right back to not being able to see. It made no sense at all. Nick Patrick did a bad job with this one.
Well, in the confusion kerfuffle there, Muda and Gary Hart just steal the fucking title.
Yeah, they just take the belt and walk off.
Yeah, they just leave.
They would have a rematch later, and Muda would beat Sting to become the TV champion.
Yep. And then, so after that,
really fun match. Fun match.
We get a stumbly bumbly promo from Lex Luger.
Glorious mullet, though.
Yeah. But basically saying that because he's going to fight Steamboat for the U.S. title, and he's basically just saying that if they change it to a no DQ match, he's walking. He's not going to do no DQ. He wants a real match.
So, Brett, let me ask you something. Pay-per-view. You bought a ticket to this show, or you bought the pay-per-view, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're excited because you know Rick Steamboat and Lex Luger are going to have a no DQ match for the U.S. title. They're having a no DQ match because Luger turned heel by attacking Steamboat with a chair at the Clash of Champions. And then before the match, they realized that they don't want to pin Steamboat because he was just the world champion. And they don't want him to beat Luger. So Lex insists that if he's going to defend the title, that it's going to be in a straight up normal rules match. And you're in the crowd thinking you were going to see a no DQ match. And they change it to a normal match. And
I'd be pretty bummed.
You'd be kind of disappointed, right?
Yeah, I would. I would be super bummed.
Yeah, it would be pretty fucking annoying to like have that happen literal minutes before the match.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't even hinted that this is coming at all during the show. Not at all.
Nope.
All right. Anyway, sorry.
So we get to Steamboat comes out. I guess accompanied by his wife and kid at first.
Who like come out like 30 yards ahead of him for like a second. And it's because the crowd hated this whole Steamboat's such a good family man thing, which, by the way, there's a whole story about that. His wife basically was booking him at this point, which is why he didn't last. This was all her idea, was the family man thing. He's getting booed against Flair. He's getting booed against Luger. You know, so they bring him out with these dudes carrying him on a giant platform with a fucking Komodo dragon that's wearing a leather vest.
A leather studded vest. And they're like, you know, he's showing it off. And like, I don't know if Komodo dragons get bored, but that Komodo dragon looked real bored.
Do you think it pissed on him or shit on him at all on the way down?
I hope so.
I hope so. I hope like he had to wrestle with piss on his hands like the entire match.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, Lex, as they lock up, you know. Wiping his shirt on Tommy Young.
That fucking dragon. He's just pointing it at the crowd and oh god. But Ricky, he looks good. He's got the green headband, he's got the green tights on. But Luger comes out, makes his way to the ring after a nice little bit of posing and flexing, where the camera kind of lingered on his butt for a while.
It did. Lex looks fucking incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Like a fucking god. Cool. This is my favorite era of Lex Luger. Yep. He peaked in 1989, folks. Like, that's the truth.
But so we get the announcement that it will be a no DQ match, which pisses Luger off. And so he gets a mic and says, if it's going to be a no DQ, he's not wrestling. He said, I'm not doing it. And so we get a little bit of a pause. Steamboat's trying to decide what to do. Steamboat says, fuck it, get rid of the stipulation. I'm going to kick your ass anyway. And we get started in the match.
I wonder how the match is going to end, Brett.
Yeah, so Steamboat, he's flying around, hitting tons of great Ricky Steamboat offense. He's got some great, dude, his chops.
Steamboat's the man, dude. Like fucking
chops,
Ricky Steamboat.
Man, Jesus Christ.
He is so fucking great. I love Ricky Steamboat.
He hit a real big dick swinging neck breaker that looked so rad. He almost sent Luger flying with it.
Well, the funny thing about that neck breaker, I know exactly what you're. I mean, this is funny that I can literally remember the neck breaker the exact way you're talking about it. So Steamboat goes flying. Luger should have gone flying, but he just goes straight ass down on the mat.
Yeah.
And Steamboat almost knocks himself out of the goddamn ring.
Fucking, but dude, it looks so cool though.
It did. It looked great. It looked great. No, it was a lot of fun.
But anyway, I mean, we have a pretty decent match. Towards the end, Luger gets a chair. He's gonna hit Ricky with it, but Ricky pulls his legs out from under him, hits him with a catapult into the ring, head first into the chair.
Right. That was a cool spot.
Yeah, it was. He grabs the chair then and shoves down the ref and whacks Luger in the back with it, which earns the DQ. So Steamboat just starts fucking whacking him with the chair.
Steamboat goes nuts. He's so Steamboat agreed to make this no DQ, then gets DQ'd. Yep. And it's so lame because they basically booked themselves into a corner.
Yep.
And I don't know if the original plan was for Luger to just outright win. And Steamboat was like, no. And so they had to change the match. I don't know. But it poorly done. I would be bummed if I was a fan about the rule change. But the match itself was pretty good. They had good chemistry.
No,
and Steamboat,
I mean, you're not going to have a bad match with Ricky Steamboat.
You're not. No. And Lex, okay, we got to get into a few things here.
Lex the sex.
Dye your roots. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. If you're going to be blonde for real or don't do it. 2, Lex, this is like peak perfection body-wise that Lex Luger ever was. The guy could work. His moves looked great. His power slam looked amazing. Like, he did a lot of stuff in this match that guys in WWF could not do. He could work very, competently because he had worked a lot with Ric Flair. And so I just felt this is kind of peak Lex Luger. I would say he peaked around 89, 90. And, what comes after is still good, but this is great.
But it ain't great.
This is great. This is great stuff. Peak heel Lex. Lex was always better as a heel, I would also say.
Yep. But anyway, so Steamboat basically just chases him up the ramp, beating him with the chair until Luger finally retreats to the back, where we then get just a feral ass promo from the Freebirds and the Samoan SWAT team featuring a young Rikishi.
Yeah, Fatu and Samu. Fatu being young Rikishi Fatu. And Jimmy Garvin, Michael Hayes, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy. I'm a big Terry Gordy guy.
Yeah, Michael P.S. Hayes, of course, might be the only pro wrestler who could top Hogan for a title of most racist.
That's true. That is true.
So moving on. Next, we got the Midnight Express. Dr. Death and the Road Warriors cutting a promo. In part of it, Dr. Death says he needs to get his bug spray to squash out the Somalians.
What the fuck? He called them Somalians, so he thinks they're from Africa. Samoa is by New Zealand. What is he talking about?
I don't know, man.
Did he not sound exactly like Hacksaw Jim Duggan in his promo?
Yeah, no, he did. He did.
He had the same cadence and everything.
Took me a minute because I was like, did he just stumble on the word Samoan?
No, the bug spray thing doesn't make any sense if he's saying Samoan.
I just figured it didn't make sense. That's where
I think he thought they were from Somalia. I look, Dr. Death, awesome in the ring. I've never vouched for his intelligence.
And you know what? We didn't need any intelligence because next we have War Games.
Yes, we
And
do.
if you are unfamiliar with War Games, which if you're listening to this show, I don't know how it could be because whatever. Um, anyway, so it's two rings surrounded by a cage with a roof over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Two teams, two men start, and one team has an advantage. So that comes into play after 5 minutes. A member of the team with the advantage comes in, and every 2 minutes after that,
They alternate.
they alternate until everyone is in the ring, and then the match starts, and it's won by the first pinfall or submission. And unlike nowadays, where you have both teams up in a cage, separate cages, they just had everyone around the ring, which I thought was cool.
Right. Right. No,
Yeah.
now that's the thing. So this is an old school War Games match, which I realized I kind of missed when I did see the War Games matches they did in NXT up to a certain point, and they're very good matches. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're death-defying, great matches. But I kind of miss War Games where you're just punching and kicking and beating the fuck out of each other. It was really different just to see people who like worked like normal ass dudes just trying to hurt each other.
Yeah.
Also, how fucking badass are the Road Warriors?
Oh, dude.
These guys literally had a fucking ventriloquist gimmick 3 years from now.
Yep.
But this is like the Road Warriors we should all remember, you know?
Yep. We got it. The cages are up, and we start the match with Jimmy Garvin and Bobby Eaton going at it.
I love Bobby Eaton so much.
There's not much. I mean, they're just fighting until Terry Gordy is the next man in.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Garvin beating the shit out of Eaton. Dr. Death next evens the score up. Bunch of fighting. People are using the cage. There's a spot where Dr. Death comes in and just starts body pressing Terry Gordy into the roof of the cage, which was pretty sick.
Terry Gordy is a big man.
Yeah. Samu is next, followed by Animal of the Road Warriors, and he comes in rip-roaring hot. Just fucking beating everyone's ass. The crowd is going fucking nuts. Fatu comes in next on Team Freebird, and him and Samu start taking it to Animal while Hawk is on the outside just foaming at the mouth, trying to get in. Michael P.S. Hayes is in next, but you can tell he doesn't really want to be in there. He's kind of slinking off to the side, hitting his little poses, doing his little thing. Crowd starts chanting, "We want Hawk! We want Hawk!" And sure as shit, Hawk comes in, big double fucking clothesline off the top rope to the Samoan SWAT team. Him and Animal just start whipping everybody's ass, and War Games has officially begun. While Paulie Dangerously on the outside is trying to shove his big ass brick phone through the cage to Terry Garvin.
It does not work. Yes, it does not fit through there.
That cracked me up so much.
That was funny. That was good stuff.
But anyway, they fight for a while. Hawk gets a kind of neck breaker submission on Garvin, who taps. Your winners by submission, the team of what do you want to call that team? Do they have a name?
Midnight Warrior Death. The Midnight Death Warriors.
Midnight Death Warriors. Yep, that's your team winners.
There you go.
You ever get a random smell like in your nose?
Yeah.
I just smelled Burger King.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of want a burger now.
Well, that Teddy Long Crown might have implanted that smell.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Thanks, Teddy.
Yeah, thanks, Teddy, you piece of
Yeah.
so
But
what I
before the
was
match is over, or after the match is over,
right, baby
the
faces are like triumphant, then they're leaving.
except the Freebirds and the Samoans hold the door shut, and they start beating the shit out of Animal until Hawk is able to rip the door open and save the day.
Right, right. So they gang up on Hawk, or they gang up on Animal inside the cage and just beat the shit out of him.
Yep. Because a few weeks earlier or whatever, they had handcuffed Hawk to the turnbuckle basically, and they all just took turns beating the shit out of him, sent him out on a stretcher. But as he said in his promo, he was only out for a week.
Yeah, that's correct. So basically, I felt like this was a really solid War Games. I like the way it ended. Like Hawk just comes in, targets Jimmy Garvin, neck breaker, and then does that crazy like lift thing, and like anybody would tap out to that. It's like, is this not flashy the way that the NXT War Games were, or the way that even Blood and Guts can be sometimes? It's just dudes punching and kicking and torturing each other.
Yep.
And I liked the touch of them ganging up on Animal at the end. I was really blown away by the aura of the Road Warriors. I really was.
Yeah.
And so it just looked awesome when they came out on the bikes and everything at the beginning, and just the intensity that they carried themselves with. They were such a different team in WWF.
Yep.
It was so different.
Well, they were the Legion of Doom.
Well, yeah. But you know what I'm talking about, Brett.
I know what you're doing. I can
even the red shoulder pads sucked
burying
compared to the black ones,
Yeah. I can dig what you're burying.
What?
I can pick up what you're putting down.
Okay, the promo with Ric Flair, Brett.
I can catch what you're throwing.
Okay, all right, enough.
Yes, next we got a Ric Flair promo. Tells us he's coming back despite the risk of injury, because the only thing he knows in life is pro wrestling. Even though over the years we would learn that he also knows a thing or two about being a drunken, belligerent, pants-shitting sex pest and accosting waitresses.
Yeah. He is not cut in a flattering light. And what I mean by that is the actual lighting for this promo and the direction in which he has turned makes him look so haggard and old. Like he has these gigantic bags under his eyes.
Yeah. He was probably out boozing. I
mean, almost certainly. But for whatever reason, he just looks older than normal. He and Terry Funk have really great chemistry.
Yes.
So what's going to happen next is going to be fun.
Yep.
And
so
I don't know if they dubbed over Terry Funk's music for your version of it on Peacock, but he had really badass music. Was it like a harmonica with like this kind of heavy rock around it?
Yeah, it's kind of westerny rock.
Yeah, they're like see that mine was different. It's like this haunted harmonica with this like kind of heavy rock. It was like an Ennio Morricone like type song. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, he looked cool coming out. He's got the blue chaps and the blue poncho. He's got the fucking branding iron. Number one on my pro wrestling Mount Rushmore.
He's also with Gary Hart, which is the big surprise that he had promised.
And then, is there a name for the just 2001 A Space Odyssey theme? Is that just what it was?
Flair? It was The Spoke Zarathustra, which is a piece of classical music that I'm not sure who actually wrote it, but it is.
Well, it was in 2001 A Space Odyssey.
It was in Space Odyssey,
the main theme.
Yep.
But that hits, the sparks rain down from the ceiling. Out comes your heavyweight champion, Ric Flair. He's got the purple purple robe. He's got the purple trunks, looking great. And him and Terry just start fucking fighting on the outside. Like, they just start fucking brawling. Terry's ripping up barricades from the crowd. Crowd barricades.
And Terry really is being an old school heel here, where he's not trying to look cool. Ric Flair's beating his ass at the beginning of this match, and he's got nothing. He's got no answer. He doesn't have the same fire Rick does. At first.
One of the early spots, Flair, they get back into the ring. Flair tries to suplex him out of the ring off the apron. But they both just kind of crumple to the outside, and it looked a little.
I kind of liked it though. It wasn't real. Crisp. It was just like two dudes, just like, you cannot tear these.
Which is a lot of this match is how it looked. It's
kind of a classic, just because there's a brutal realism to it.
Yeah,
that I like.
Mm-hmm. They get a nice little chop battle going. Flair or Funk rakes the eyes of Flair to get him back inside of the ring. But Flair gets back up and sends Funk right over to the floor again. These men could not stay in the ring. Terry gets Flair back in. It hits a couple nice little leg drops to the back of the head. Funk gets up, hits him with a pile driver, or Flair hits Funk with a pile driver. It sets him back up, tries to get another one, but Funk rolls backwards out of the ring, like through the middle rope, which looked great. He tries to crawl back in, or he tries to crawl to the back.
Yeah, he tries to run away.
Flair meets him, starts taking it to him, gets him back in the ring. Funk tries to hit a couple snap jabs, but Flair's got an answer. Starts hitting him with the big right hands. Hits him with a big back body drop into a figure four. Funk screaming, looking fucking rabid. I love it. He gets the rope, and I couldn't tell if the ref could see or not, but Gary Hart hits Flair with the branding iron.
Well, No. So what he did was Gary Hart dropped the branding iron in the ring. And then he distracts the ref, and Terry Funk, while he's still in the figure four, hits Rick with the face with the branding iron. Yeah.
Okay. Which busts Flair open. So we've got,
you can see Flair blading himself. Man, that's why I always wore the tape on his fingers. Is he has little blades in all of them, and he's just like he's just going to town on himself, man.
Dude, and Flair, when he would get a crimson mask going, man, the bleached hair covered in blood, it looked so fucking cool.
Yep.
But Funk hits a pile driver and covers Flair, who gets to the ropes before the 3 count. So Funk gets outside of the ring and starts lifting up the mats to expose the concrete, gets Flair out of the ring, tries for the pile driver, but Flair blocks it. Both guys kind of go crashing down, and Flair's bleeding all over the fucking place. They get back into the ring. Funk hits a big neck breaker, hits another big neck breaker, hits a third big neck breaker.
Flair's selling the neck like death. Yeah.
Yep. Funk is trying to get Flair to quit. He's just yelling. He's yelling for him to quit.
Right.
Flair's not having it. He nails him with a couple right hands, but then Flair gets himself the branding iron and just rocks Funk right in the fucking head with it.
Yeah. Now Terry's bleeding.
Yep. Now Terry's bleeding. We're outside of the ring again. Flair sends Funk into the ring post, and then right back into the ring. Hits the perfect 10 punch, as it's called in the video games.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. But after that, he just keeps fucking hammering him with right hands in the corner.
Right, and his hands have Terry's blood all over them. It looks really cool.
It looks cool as fuck. Flair had a good working punch, I think. He had a great working punch, especially when he would get the little headlock and the
Yeah. Oh no, I love that when he's got the guy like a yep. No,
yep.
There isn't much
real.
Rick did that looked bad. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Rick, the guy sucks, but the wrestler was extremely good.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's got Terry still in the corner. He tries to hit a running knee on him, but Funk slips out of the way and gets Flair in the spinning toe hold. But Flair is able to reverse into an inside cradle. Well, he drops Funk down, who gets him into an inside cradle, which Flair reverses into his own inside cradle for 1, 2, 3. Ric Flair is still your world heavyweight champion, but wait, there's more.
The Great Muta runs down to the ring and blows the green mist in Ric Flair's face. Rick will cut a promo later where he looks like a literal dead person who just rose back to life.
He looks like a tongue after some Kool-Aid.
It's fucking terrifying, dude. That promo is scary.
But so after the match, we get basically a second match.
It's so cool. It's almost better than the actual match.
Yeah, so Funk grabs a chair, goes to set up Flair for a pile driver on the chair, but
the crowd's chanting, "We want Sting."
Yeah, the crowd pops, and out does come Sting to the rescue. And it looks like it's going to be Sting and Flair as your last men standing in the ring. Until Muta just throws a fucking chair from the outside in. All four of them start fucking brawling up the ramp. Funk and Muta go to, like, they're going to retreat, and the whole time Muta is holding one of those little kindergarten chairs.
He wraps one around Flair's head at one point.
Yeah, and if you need to know what we're talking about, these are those chairs that are like the seat and the back are all one piece of molded plastic with the four legs. They don't
fold. Yeah.
And so Muda's just holding it the whole time. And so we're like, all right, they're retreating to the back. Match is going to be over. Nope. Muta and Funk come back out and start beating the shit out of Flair.
It's always Muta who restarts it. It's always Muta.
Muta was not done, man.
He had great instincts is what it was. And I think there were people telling him, no, we still have more time. You guys need to go back out there. But every time you think this thing is over, it starts again. And it's so good.
One of the coolest shots to me is, you've got Jim Ross and Caudle, and they're up by the ramp doing the announcing, and behind them you just see everyone fucking brawling.
They're brawling through the crowd behind them, like right next to them. They're actually legit kind of terrified to get hurt.
The whole time you can tell Jim Ross is like, he keeps trying to wind it down and cut the end of the feed, but they just keep fucking fighting. And Jim Ross is just kind of, what the fuck is happening?
And then Jim goes, do you think it's over this time, Bob? The brawl is as good as the match. It really is much fun.
The whole thing, Jim Ross is also still trying to let us know that we still don't know what's going on with the television title.
And then they finally do mention that it's being held up.
Yeah, the board of directors are there trying to figure out what the fuck's going on while these guys are just fighting all over the place. Flair makes his way up to JR, and he's just fucking wooing and hollering, and he says that him and Funk aren't done yet.
They're just beginning.
Gonna dog him until his Texas ass is worn out.
Flair is also half red and half green on his face. He does look like somebody who was just dug up from a grave.
Yeah, and Sting, you can tell, doesn't know what the fuck to do, and he
has no idea.
Good.
Sting's like, I think we're supposed to be done now. Let's leave. Yeah. And Flair's just like, woo! He's just like going fucking ape shit.
Jesus Christ! It was
the end of
a fun main event, right?
Hey, they won the match, tore the house down. It was very good. It wasn't a very long Ric Flair match. It was 17 minutes.
Yeah.
But it didn't outstay its welcome. It did everything it was supposed to do. They worked it like a blood feud match. There wasn't a lot of wrestling in it. Just punches, slaps, chops, cheating, and a finish. And then a huge fucking brawl keeping in mind this is July 23rd, I think you said is when this card took place. July 23rd. This foreshadowed a tag match that would happen at the next pay-per-view, which is Halloween Havoc in October.
Yeah.
So that, the stories had to carry through for 3 months. And Halloween Havoc, this was also the first year of Halloween Havoc, which has always been one of my favorite pay-per-views. But what do you think of the show overall, Brett? I mean,
I had fun. I had a lot of fun. It was late 80s pro wrestling. We had,
in many ways, the height of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good casted characters, a lot of future stars, a lot of already stars. I think the War Games was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. The Jim Cornette, Paulie Dangerously was the Tuxedo Manager match was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And like you said, man, just a great blood feud main event by two of the best that ever stepped into a ring,
100%. I think, you see the contrast here with a WWF show, pay-per-view.
The tornado tag was great, sorry.
That was a lot of fun, yeah.
A good showing for the new Steiner team.
There would be so much more. I mean, you see why people say AEW is the successor to WCW.
Absolutely.
In so many ways, because it really is mostly wrestling. That is most of what you see. There are promos, more than you probably see in AEW, but not much more. And way less than you would see on a WWF show. I mean, there would be shitloads of Jesse and Gorilla talking, or Vince and whoever talking. Be a lot of that. A lot of backstage interviews, a lot of Mean Gene stuff, which I loved all of that too, but it's there. The stylistic difference is very clear. They start the show slow. The Battle Royal's fine, but it's 10 minutes long. Flying Brian and Irwin is fine. The Skyscrapers versus the Dynamic Dudes is fine. Then the show steps up a notch with Paulie versus Jim because they're beloved by the fans, even though they're both, generally they're usually both heels. The fans, it's that love to hate them thing. Then the Steiners versus Sullivan and Rotunda steps it up another notch. But to me, it really feels like Muta and Sting is the first match where things get serious. You know what I mean? They there's a tonal shift, and Muta and Sting both are legit over. Know these guys are the future. And then
it's cool going back and watching this because I mean I was a WWF kid, growing up during the Attitude Era. I mean that was my shit. I was during the Monday Night Wars. I was no WCW, I'm WWF, but realizing as my fandoms evolved that right now I think the best wrestling on the best television wrestling in anywhere right now is what AEW is doing. And so being able to go back and watch these classic WCW shows, I'm like, man, I was missing some good shit, And I'm really loving a lot of these.
A lot of this stuff holds up really well to the current day. One thing we missed that I just want to make sure we do mention is there were just a few people in the Battle Royal who didn't wrestle later. Eddie Gilbert, Ranger Ross. But the one I wanted to draw some attention to is Scott Hall.
Yeah.
He has a bleached out mullet and a bleached porno stash that truly you completely understand why no one cared about him at this time.
Yep.
He looks like generic, I wish I was Magnum TA guy. But
and we have the results of my question that I asked.
Oh, please.
So just going down the list, the Jim DB sent a picture of Dan Spivey.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's good on you,
Toby says Kerry Von Erich had a pretty decent mullet.
He had a great mullet. Yeah.
We've got someone sent a picture of the Freebirds. We got a Mike Awesome.
There's 3 of them with mullets.
Someone's giving a shout out to Beef.
I wonder who that would be.
I don't know. It's a new follower.
Oh, it's not Toads?
No.
Oh wow.
We've got a good call with Crush. We've got a good amount of Crush, which is
Crush is pretty top
fantastic.
tier, baby.
We can't not mention Keith Cole.
Keith Cole.
Wow, that's a Kentucky waterfall if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero. Eddie, lots of love for Eddie.
Yes.
We've got HBK, your Crush, Magnum TA, whose stash, I want to say, really tied the room together.
It did. Hanger basically modeled his stash after Magnum.
Yep. We've got Shawn Michaels, young Shawn Michaels. Lots of Mike Awesome. Lots of Eddie Guerrero. We got Bobby Eaton. Some more Crush. Shout out to Ricky Morton, who's still rocking a great fucking mullet.
Ricky still has the exact same hairstyle.
Yep. Flying Brian.
Yeah.
We got some more Speedball. Couple Rick Rudes. More Mike Awesome.
The OG Rick Rude mullet was something. It really was.
Yep. We got a Greg the Hammer Valentine.
He had the PE teacher.
He had the lesbian PE teacher.
He did.
So I think I'm going to say I'm seeing the most. I'm going to give it a tie between Eddie Guerrero and Mike Awesome. Were y'all's favorite mullets?
Okay. I can see Awesome. Okay. I can see it. But I was going to say Guerrero. And here's why. He rocked a variety of different mullets throughout his career. He rocked almost every kind of mullet you can have.
And now Dirty Dom is carrying the mantle for his puppy.
You know, as much as I don't care for WWE, and as much as I really haven't seen much of Dom's stuff.
Dom's great.
The fact that he models his look and everything after Eddie is very funny. That is extremely, extremely funny, and I have to give him props for that.
Yeah, he was. Did you see the videos of him when he went down to Mexico last week and as a surprise,
I'm sure he got a huge pop.
Oh man, the crowd went nuts. He is over.
Yeah.
Which hometown boy? 6'1".
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna. The dude he's a star. I mean, he's gotten over, and it's not really for being a great wrestler.
which is crazy to me. Like, because I know you weren't watching WWE, but like when he was like tagging with his dad to start and stuff. Like,
I saw a few of those matches.
I didn't think there was any way that kid would ever be a star. But
no, I mean, people were bagging on him hard, and I thought it was so interesting that they leaned into it.
Putting him with Rhea Ripley in the Judgment Day really got him over, man, and letting him lean into being kind of the Eddie of the new generation of WWE
is genuinely like making the fact that he's not as good as his dad part of his gimmick, like, and that his work is not the thing you watch him for. It's you like his personality, and he's funny. You know, like I probably the last clip that I seriously watched of WWE was when he cut the promo about his time in prison. And that was genuinely funny. I mean, it was funny. And I give him credit for that. There's plenty of wrestlers whose work was not the thing. We just saw Sid literally put a claw on a man's lower back.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Act like it was supposed to be devastating. Shane Douglas didn't even know how to sell it. He's like, what am I supposed to? He's laying there like a dead fish. Like he has no fucking idea.
Oh, man. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed our trip down memory lane for the Great American Bash 1989.
The best year of Ric Flair's career, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. He is iBlade Daily on the socials. I am PegMe_Bundy. And you can find us both at sickosclub.com or sickos.club on the socials.
That's right.
Bye!
Sickos Club.